You're looking at a sight few have ever seen, the Earth from space at night. You can recognize the major cities and countries, but there are also vast areas with no lights at all. Billions of people live in those darkened areas, but they simply don't have access to the power they need to become a part of the modern world. The tectonic plate boundaries highlighted here are where hydrothermal vents, the most exciting new discovery in renewable energy technology, are formed. Because their superheated water output is constant, they are capable of reliably supplying a huge baseload electrical demand while minimizing the carbon pollution that threatens our environment. Draining the oceans would expose how the boundaries form the mid-ocean ridges, a 65,000-kilometer-long undersea mountain range that encircles the Earth like the seam on a baseball. This seam covers the Earth's molten core and allows its heat to escape through fissures in the crust. In areas where the tectonic plates are pulling away from each other, the sea floor stretches and weakens, and gaps that form between the plates fill with new volcanic crust drawn from the Earth's magma. This is where and how hydrothermal vents are formed. Extreme pressure forces water through these cracks in the sea floor until it contacts the magma, and it is returned to the ocean as a fantastic, uninterrupted geyser of superheated fluid as hot as 400 degrees C. This clean and constant natural hot water is provided by nature at temperatures within the normal operating range of nuclear power generating facilities. Hydrothermal vents occur along divergent tectonic boundaries in all the world's oceans. Thousands have already been found, even though only about 10% of the ocean floor has been explored, and those already known are capable of providing all of mankind's current electricity needs. It is also reasonable to conclude that many thousands more remain undiscovered. The energy escaping from these vents is enormous, and the Marshal hydrothermal recovery system provides the first practical method of utilizing it for commercial electricity production. To capture this energy, an inverted funnel is lowered to the sea floor and positioned so that it covers one or several vents. The fluid is directed into an insulated pipe and allowed to rise to the surface. A platform is positioned directly above, which contains the heat exchange and generation systems necessary to convert the heat to electricity. Submarine cables carry the power to shore. Hydrothermal vents are unique among renewables because the geothermal heat they contain is extremely dense. Their energy is concentrated in a stream of superheated water, which makes it possible to recover very large quantities from a small physical area, and the constant flow makes baseload electrical generation possible. Harvesting hydrothermal energy could completely eliminate the need for some, if not all, non-sustainable generation methods used historically, and could replace them with clean, renewable electricity generated utilizing hydrothermal technology powered by the natural heat of the Earth's core. When speaking of renewables, most people refer primarily to solar and wind. While they are of critical importance, their power output fluctuates, and because the energy they capture is diffused, both require large land areas for their infrastructure. While many are considerably smaller, the largest renewable plants such as wind, geothermal, and solar generate electricity in the range of up to about 500 megawatts, while hydroelectric plants are usually 1,000 megawatts or more. Carbon-emitting coal and oil are also around 500 megawatts per unit, natural gas around 800 megawatts per unit, and nuclear is around 1,000 megawatts per reactor. We anticipate hydrothermal plants will be in the 1,000 megawatt range as well, far surpassing other renewables and positioning us among the largest generating facilities in the world. Ours is the only existing renewable technology that can sustainably produce baseload electricity on the scale of a nuclear plant. In addition to extremely large-scale electricity production, hydrothermal vents can also produce many other beneficial commodities, including millions of liters of fresh water per day and valuable minerals and metals using the same infrastructure. Droughts plague many areas of the world, and climate disruption is making things worse every year. Large volumes of potable water for agricultural and personal consumption can be created by distilling the steam generated from hydrothermal vents to address that shortage. What looks like smoke exiting hydrothermal vents is actually a mineral cocktail which contains some of the richest ores on the planet. Precious metals such as gold and silver, along with copper, iron, and others are abundant, and significant quantities of valuable minerals can be recovered from the fluid as well. Although each vent has its own chemistry, even rare earth minerals can be found, and in higher concentrations than in surface mines. The Marshal hydrothermal recovery system provides the only completely non-invasive means of deep ocean mining, and it could eliminate some highly polluting terrestrial mining operations while providing a secure source for critical materials. The Marshal hydrothermal recovery system is based almost exclusively on existing proven technology from the geothermal power production, oil and gas, electric power generation, and subsea transmission industries. Hydrothermal vents are located near many energy-hungry areas of the world. They are known to be just off the coasts of China, Japan, and Korea. They run through the Mediterranean Sea, traverse the Red Sea in the Middle East, and are found near the coast of South America. The Juan de Fuca Ridge, just 320 kilometers from Seattle, is extremely active, and Mexico has many fields along its Pacific coast. The U.S., Canada, Mexico, China, Japan, Korea, Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, South America, and India are all within reach of hydrothermal systems. Hydrothermal vents can provide base load power on the scale of the largest power plants in existence. No greenhouse gases, no external fuel needed, nothing is burned. Hydrothermal vents are not subject to the natural fluctuations that affect the output of hydroelectric, wind, or solar systems. The Marshal hydrothermal recovery system is patented internationally and uses proven technology from the oil and gas and electrical generation and transmission industries. Marshal Hydrothermal has an amazing talent pool in its advisory board, consisting of experts from a broad range of specialties, including engineering and physics, materials and environmental science, sustainability, accounting and analysis, funding and finance, and legal. Listed here is a sample of its membership. While patenting our technology and developing our business plan, more than 24 representatives from 12 countries inquired about Marshal hydrothermal power projects being developed in their markets. When developed, projects representing these inquiries could generate over 30,000 megawatts and represent $120 billion in project development business. We are seeking to identify key strategic partners migrating from the offshore oil and gas industry to a new opportunity in joining with the Marshal family of companies to create tens of thousands of jobs while developing sustainable electricity generation to supply tens of millions of people with low-cost, baseload renewable electricity. Those with extensive experience in the declining offshore gas and oil industry, who are seeking to redirect their skills and assets to sustainable infrastructure development, could afford themselves a new opportunity by supporting us in the development of global hydrothermal resources. There are many opportunities with Marshal in the world of global sustainability and infrastructure development, both as a passive investor and as an active strategic partner. We have the patented technology capable of developing sustainable global baseload electricity. We have the market opportunity and demand reaching out to us, and we are actively seeking investors and partners to share with us in the rewards of creating a sustainable future. We welcome both large and small accredited investors globally. Strategic partners and government support are required in each new market that we enter.